It is believed that chopsticks have been around for about 5,000 years and that they were first used in China. When fuel was scarce, ancient Chinese people started to cut food into small pieces so it would cook faster and use minimal fuel. Because the pieces were so small, there was no need for a knife at the table, so the bite-sized pieces could be picked up with chopsticks. As they slowly became more popular, chopsticks began to be made from various materials and turned into slightly different shapes according to the country they were used in. The original Chinese ones were more squared and had blunt ends, a design still common today, whereas the Japanese ones were rounded and had a thinner tip. The first Japanese chopsticks were made out of bamboo and were used only in religious ceremonies. As the years passed and chopsticks became more popular, they were made out of different materials. The wealthy had their chopsticks made of silver, gold, jade, or other precious materials. On the other hand, Korean chopsticks are made of stainless steel and have a flat rectangular cross-section and have engraved ornaments. In today's times, chopsticks are not only traditional utensils in Asian countries, but also very popular in Western countries as well, where Asian cuisine is already available in a variety of restaurants. Chopsticks are used in many parts of the world. While principles of etiquette are similar, finer points can differ from region to region. For now, we will be focusing on the Korean, Japanese, and Chinese etiquette in reference to the proper usage of chopsticks. Chinese etiquette. It is normal to hold the rice bowl up to one's mouth and use chopsticks to push the rice directly into the mouth. It is poor etiquette to tap chopsticks on the edge of one's bowl. At one time, beggars made this sort of noise to attract attention. It is considered poor etiquette to point rested chopsticks towards others seated at the table. Chopsticks should not be left vertically stuck into a bowl of rice because it resembles the ritual of incense burning that symbolizes feeding the dead and death in general. One should not dig or search through one's food for something in particular. This is sometimes known as digging one's grave or grave digging and is extremely poor form. Resting chopsticks at the top of the bowl means have finished. Resting chopsticks on the side of one's bowl or on a chopstick stand signifies one is merely taking a break from eating. Japanese etiquette. Chopsticks should not be crossed on a table, as this symbolizes death, or again, vertically stuck in the rice, which is done during a funeral. Korean etiquette. It is considered uncultured and rude to pick up a dish or a bowl, to bring it closer to one's mouth and eat its content with chopsticks. A spoon is used if the food lifted drips. This is in stark contrast to Chinese and Japanese convention. When laying chopsticks down on the table next to a spoon, one must never put the chopsticks to the left of the spoon. Chopsticks are only laid to the left during the food preparation for the funeral or the memorial service for the deceased family members. Here's how to use chopsticks. If possible, use wood or bamboo chopsticks. Plastic chopsticks are more slippery and harder to hold. Always grab the chopsticks in the middle, making sure that the ends are even and do not cross. Pick up a chopstick and hold it so that it's resting comfortably between the tip of your fourth finger, which is the ring finger, and the hollow gap between your thumb and index finger. Keep the fourth finger straight. This will be the bottom chopstick. Now pick up the other chopstick and place it on top, firmly between the tips of your thumb, index, and middle fingers. The index and middle fingers should be curled. When eating, always keep the bottom chopstick stationary and use the top chopstick to maneuver and pick up food. To pick up food, straighten your index and middle fingers as much as needed to move the top chopstick outward. Grab the food, then bring the chopsticks together by curling your index and middle fingers. The basic idea is to use the chopstick as a pivot, with the thumb being the axle. Lastly, lift the food up to your mouth, leaning over if necessary. Certainly, chopsticks created a huge impact in different cultures, starting with the Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and even Taiwanese and Vietnamese. Through globalization and culture spread and integration, even the use of chopsticks as utensils has been brought in our country, the Philippines. To affirm this claim, nowadays, there is an evident spread of different Chinese, Japanese, and even Korean restaurants. Given this fact, the significance of chopsticks as eating utensils in the different parts of the world can no longer be denied.